To access Enforcer, click Enforcer on the File menu. There are several modules in the menu selection, but we're going to concentrate on Enforcer Incidents. After clicking Enforcer Incidents, we're presented with a browse window, which allows us to preview the past 30 days of cases. There are several important features on this browse screen. Beginning in the upper left, we have a Show drop-down list. When you expand the list, you'll see options which allow you to filter the list of incidents in the browse. The button to the right of the filter list will save whichever setting is presently selected as the default view when the incident browse loads. For example, if I choose something here, I see that the incidents in the browse changed to match that filter. When I click this button, I'm given a confirmation window that tells me that the new incident list view filter and the name of the filter in square brackets has been saved as the default. The next three boxes and the plus button are for creating new incident reports that were not generated by a dispatch or mobile dispatch terminal. We'll be using that more in depth in an upcoming video. Working our way to the main incident list here, there are a series of columns which have letters as labels. If you want to know what those letters stand for, hover over each column to see a tooltip. The blank column is for the reports marked as confidential. Reports made confidential are only visible to the person who created the report, to supervisors, and to internal affairs. The S refers to submission status. In this example, as we hover over here, we can see the report was not submitted for approval. The N is for NIBRS submission status. Each month, Oklahoma State IBRS, called CYBRS, requires monthly submissions of all report information for statistics, and that's later passed on to the FBI's NIBRS. The A stands for accident. This is the crash that has to do with the submission of crash report information to the state agency that handles motor vehicle crash information. P refers to published, and if we hover over here, we see APS as glyph published. This shows whether the report was published online. C is for e-citations, and this is about whether a citation was generated electronically. Incident number, this column, is the report number. There's also a column that says local report number. This allows reports to be issued specialized reporting numbers. For example, you could have a C in front of crash report numbers or something like that. CAD call number is the CAD generated incident number. Report date is self-explanatory. U is for use of force. Incident type can vary from CAD type. For example, a disturbance could wind up being a domestic violence case. Location is where the incident occurred. There's a total incidents counter here. On the right-hand side, there are three buttons you'll see everywhere in software. The plus sign is called the Insert button. This allows you to create a new item. This is typically associated with a list, and here this will allow us to create a new report. We're going to cover that in an upcoming video. The button that looks like a bullet or crayon here is the Change button. It's not actually going to change anything, it just opens up the highlighted record so that we can read it or edit it. The Trash Can button is used to delete items, so whatever's highlighted in the list, click the trash can, it removes it. Note that some of the controls will be locked out for some users, so this Delete button, for example, is typically only available to supervisors. On the bottom of the window, there are three tabs. The first tab is the Incident Summary list, which shows some basic information about the incident. The first item in this list is the officer who took this report. As I click on different incidents, you'll see that these different key elements change. Also on this tab, there's a Print Report button, which prints the report, a Print Form button, which prints a report with all data elements on the report, whether they were filled in or not. There's an Import from Responder button, which allows information to be imported from dispatch. This is generally used when the incident didn't push from CAD, not commonly a feature that is utilized. There's an Export to Court button for agencies who have an interface with their court systems. The Create Use of Force Report button allows you to copy whichever incident is highlighted and then adds the ability to use additional use of force features that will show up, and we will cover that in a future video. The Clone button allows you to clone or duplicate a report for whichever incident is highlighted, and then it issues it a new report number. This could be, for example, runaways from the juvenile home, to allow the information not to have to be retyped for location and dates and times, but then allow individual involved parties as may be required by the court. There's a transfer button which allows administrators to transfer a report away from one agency or internal division to another. For example, a use of force may get transferred from the main agency to the Internal Affairs Division. And finally, there is a tips button which provides some basic information for how to use the incident summary list. The next two tabs are all about finding information, and in the next video we'll cover how to do these